Today is Monday, November 11th, and I'm just wondering just how much worse it can get for the Dallas Cowboys.
In 1993, Bob opened the original Bob's Steak and Chop House on Lemon Avenue. 32 years later, the original Bob still greets you at the original Bob's. And now his sparkling new Bob's at Craig Ranch has opened in McKinney. Same fantastic beef and fresh seafood at these two Bob's, each run by the Bob's Steak and Chop House. Mary and I are Crest Cadillac people. For what, about 15 years now?
That's about right. Crest Cadillac XT4. Perfect size, perfect ride for us.
Crest Cadillac at 121 on the Tollway in Frisco now has terrific offers on the Cadillac LYRIQ and the soon-to-be-available all-electric Escalade. GM Mike Brusen's team is fantastic to work with, so join Mary and me as
Crest Cadillac people. And now, a word from our title sponsor.
Are all financial advisors fiduciaries? Fewer than you think. Not knowing could reduce your lifestyle. Hi, I'm Mitch Kramer, founder and CEO of Fluent Financial. A fiduciary is a regulatory term to reduce conflicts of interest in wealth management. A fiduciary always works in your best interest. A non-fiduciary advisor might put their compensation or company ahead of yours. At Fluent Financial, we are certified financial planners acting as fiduciary advisors. To learn more, go to fluentfinancial.com or Fluent Financial's YouTube channel.
This is an odd thing to say about a game where the final score was Philadelphia 34 and Dallas 6. But Dallas actually had their chances in this game. Down 7-0, thanks to Cooper Rush fumbling the ball away and setting up Philadelphia at the Dallas 17. Cavante Turpin's kick return set up Dallas in good position. And they got 2 first downs to the Philadelphia 31. And then they tried to throw long. I have a better chance of throwing long to my wife Mary than the Cowboys have of completing a long pass. And after those 2 fell incomplete, well, Brandon Aubrey did his usual wonderful job, kicked a field goal, and Dallas was down 7-3. But with Rush, the Cowboys, I think, almost admitted as the game went along, forget it. We're going to have the most puny dink and dunk offense in the history of this league. The longest Dallas completion for the day, all game, they completed 17 passes. The longest one was 10 yards. Second longest was 9. And then they had a smattering of 6s. Those were the longest completions of the day. But, hey, they were just down 7-3. And the Dallas defense bowed up and stopped Philly 2 possessions in a row. And then Dallas went on by far their best drive of the day. It took up 14 plays and 77 yards, and it ended at the Philadelphia 3-yard line, where Zeke Elliott fumbled the ball into the end zone, and the drive netted no points. But then Jalen Hurts fumbled it right back to Dallas, and they had another chance to take the lead. They set up at the Philadelphia 3-5-yard line, right in there somewhere, and they ran 3 plays, and gained 2 total yards. And then Aubrey came in and kicked a tiny field goal, but it was 7-6. 7-6. In a game, the Cowboys were more than a touchdown underdog. From that point to the end of the game, though, Philadelphia outscored Dallas 27-0. It started at the Philadelphia 16 inside the 2-minute warning. And Philadelphia had only one timeout. You got to figure Philadelphia's thinking, gee, if we can just get down the field and get a field goal to expand our lead to 4 points. But no. Philadelphia drove all 84 yards in a minute and a half. All of them gained by Jalen Hurts runs or Jalen Hurts passes. And that was it to the half. Philadelphia 14-6. But still, it is only 14-6. That is, as they say, a one-score game. And to start the second half, Dallas forces a Philadelphia 3-and-out. But in their possession, Dallas ran 3 plays. 2 of them complete passes. 1 was a run for nothing. And those 2 complete passes gained 3 total yards. You talk about Dink Hall of Fame. Good Lord. And they gave it back to Philadelphia by punt, and Philadelphia put the game away. There are so many things to say about this game. Virtually every one of them bad that I've made a list. Okay, first, Dallas had 5 turnovers today. 5 turnovers. Wow, that's rare, isn't it? Well, no. The last time Dallas played at home, they had 5 turnovers against the Lions. Total against the Lions and the Eagles, 10 turnovers and no touchdowns. Yikes. Dallas has now lost their last 5 at home, including that thumping they got in the playoffs last year when Green Bay beat them 48-32 at AT&T Stadium. By the way, that was, to remind you, 48-16 entering the fourth quarter. Well, in those 5 consecutive losses at home, Dallas has been outscored a total of 201-91. Pathetic? That's a pretty good word. They were outscored Sunday 14-0 by the Eagles. That extends the absolute worst third quarter performance of any team in the league. Dallas for its season has now been outscored in the third quarter 82-22. Boy, they don't exactly come roaring out of the halftime locker room, do they? Cooper Rush looked awful. And when eventually Coach McCarthy decided to send Trey Lance in for his first plays of this season, in fact, first plays of a couple of seasons, he ran only 2 plays, and then he was taken back out, and Rush put back in. And he promptly fumbled the ball away at the Dallas 19, and Cooper Rush exited to the sidelines, never to be seen on the field again on Sunday. But Lance, he was no better. There's so many things. But at least, to be fair to Lance, he hasn't played in a couple of years, and that's hard to step in and expect a person to do well in this situation. But the Cowboys are now 3-6. They've got no Prescott. They've got no offense. They've got a shell of a defense. They have no reason to play Rush anymore this season. They might as well start Trey Lance and see what he can do, because Lance or Rush, or maybe neither of them, will be the backup quarterback here next year. But at least Dallas will get a reading on Lance. You know what? I kind of very much doubt either one of them is going to be back next year to back up Prescott. Philly, zeroed in on rookie fifth-round cornerback Kalen Carson, and they just shredded him. So much so that defensive coordinator Mike Zimmer put Israel Mukwamu in at cornerback late in the game. The Cowboys cannot throw long. They completed 17 passes Sunday for 49 yards. That's 2.8 yards per completion. That's incomprehensibly awful. At one bizarre point, after a Trayvon Diggs interception gave the Cowboys hope, they started at their 20 and completed 3 straight passes. Now that's good. That's good. 3 straight completions for a total of 5 yards. That's almost Keystone Cops-like. Oh, and let's not forget Jerry World. Very late in the first half, with Dallas at the Philadelphia 4 trying to take the lead, a rush threw a ball into the end zone for the wide-open CeeDee Lamb. Touchdown, Dallas! Well, the ball was a bit behind Lamb, but he was so far open, he could have slowed down and caught the ball, except he didn't. And after the Cowboys settled for the field goal on that possession, the camera showed Lamb on the sideline gesturing that he never saw the ball. You see, the light was pouring in through the glass doors at the end zone, like it always does in fall. And Lamb apparently never saw the pass. It could have been a touchdown. Now, there are curtains you can close to shut out that light, except Jerry, who bought the curtains, doesn't use the curtains. At least the Cowboys did take a piece of our roster advice on Sunday. Earlier last week in the podcast, we said, hey, just take the starting job away from rookie tackle Tyler Guyton, that he's just not doing his job. Well, the Cowboys took that advice, and not only did they demote Guyton, they dropped him all the way to inactive. They let Asim Richards play left tackle in the game, and we'll see how he rated in the game. But Guyton is now an inactive Cowboy player. And yes, that is their first-round draft choice from last year, who's inactive on a 3-6 team. Bottom line, this team sucks. And they have 6 pretty good to solid NFL teams left on their schedule. I can honestly see a Cowboy team that goes to 5-12 this year and picks in the top 4, 5, 6, 7 picks in the NFL draft. Mike McCarthy will be gone. So will most of his staff. Stalwarts Zach Martin and DeMarcus Lawrence will retire. Several free agents will bolt to other teams. And several players on this team who are under contract shouldn't be back also. But after all that, what will remain? Jerry and Stephen running things.
Today's episode brought to you by Fluent Financial. Retire sooner, better lifestyle. And by Crest Cars. There's good, there's better, and then there's Crest. By Star Power. Love where you live. And by Bob's Steak and Chop House.
Thanks for listening to today's episode of Just Wondering with Norm Hitzges. If you enjoyed what you heard, please hit follow, and a fresh new episode will be delivered to you every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And if you know someone who might enjoy our work, please share it with them. I'm Norm Hitzges, and I'm always just wondering about something.
And I'm Mary Hitchkus, and I'm just wondering too.